What's going on YouTube? Murticus back here bringing you guys the evolution of the Porsche GT3. Probably one of the best sports cars ever made in the world. There's multiple generations, and throughout this video I'll be giving you detailed explanations on each one. So let's get started. Starting off with the 996.1. This one was the one that set it all off in history. As you can see, Jeremy Clarkson's just absolutely ripping it. The engine was mated with a 6-speed manual transmission which sent power to the rear wheels. It was powered by a 3.6 liter flat 6 engine that produced 360 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. The GT3 also featured aerodynamic enhancements like a rear wing and a front splitter to improve downforce. Also, the interior was stripped down for weight savings with features like air conditioning and sound deadening removed. I also want to note that the 996.1 was the first and last truly analog GT3 that didn't feature electronic assist like traction control compared to later models. The 996.1 Porsche will definitely go down in history as a hallmark for future generations of the GT3, is widely loved by many critics, and will pave way for the 996.2 coming up. Alright, and coming up with the 996.2, this was a huge achievement for the Porsche brand just because this hallmarked bringing over the GT3 to Northern America. 996.2 improved on many things compared to the previous generation, including 388 horsepower output out of a 3.6 liter flat 6 engine that was water cooled. It also enhanced the 0 to 60 time down to 4.3 seconds, and it also reached a top speed of 190 miles per hour, which was all improvements compared to the 996.1. Porsche also made and produced about 2,589 units throughout 2004 and the 2005 time. Also, the 996.2 had improved brakes with larger and performed way better with 6-piston calipers, and it also had ceramic discs sourced from the 996 GT2 as an option for the first time. Along with the new front appearance, this also featured a new rear wing and also a new wheel setup, which were wider and lighter compared to the last generation, which improved the performance. All the improvements just became a huge hit in North America, with new models coming in quick. Introduced in the 2006 Geneva Motor Show, the 997.1 took all the improvements from previous generations and just went crazy. The 2007 911 GT3 is the first GT3 to feature active chassis components. Porsche Active Suspension Management offers 2 different modes, normal and sport, which was the first on a GT3 model. The coupe features a 415 horsepower naturally aspirated engine with an 8,400 RPM redline and a healthy 0 to 60 of 4 seconds. 997.1 also featured a base price of 106,000 USD. So new was the interior. The GT3 added Alcantara covered steering wheels, shifter, parking brake lever, and door accents. Also, the gauges have yellow needles and markings, as well as a GT3 logo. Available was the navigation system and Porsche's iconic Sport Chrono gauge package, which will complete this segment of the 997.1 as we get into the next generation. In 2009, Porsche launched the second generation 997 GT3, commonly known as the 997.2 GT3, with an enlarged 3.8 liter engine rated at 435 horsepower. By 2012, only 2,256 units were produced. And one of the coolest features of this GT3 is definitely the engine. It's one of the last iterations of what is called the Mesger engine. Along with many improvements, the appearance also changed with new things such as daytime running lights and LED tail lamps. Options included a $3,490 nose lift with the press of a button raises the chin of the car by 1.2 inches for curb cuts and other urban obstacles. I also want to note that the base price of this GT3 was $114,450, and there were 15 available colors and 129 line item options for this GT3 model. The 997.2 was a huge hit and will continue with the next generation. Introduced March 5th, 2013 at the International Geneva Motor Show, this new 911 GT3 marked the 50th anniversary of the 911. Also new was the 3.8 liter flat 6 engine that was water cooled, producing 469 horsepower, a 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds, and a top speed of 196 miles per hour. Controversial issue included that there was no manual gearbox and it was only exclusive with a 7-speed double clutch PDK setup. This GT3 also for the first time used active rear wheel steering in order to achieve even higher precision in lateral dynamics. Porsche had to recall early models of this GT3 due to a loosened screw joint, possibly leading to engine destruction. But even through all that, this was a very popular model leading to the next generation. With the 991.2 GT3 unveiled at the 2017 Geneva Motor Show, they brought back the manual transmission. Even though the PDK transmission was faster than the manual transmission, this featured a very healthy 4.0 liter flat 6 engine that produced 500 horsepower. With many improvements, this engine also reached a high 9,000 RPM. This was also rated as a more reliable option compared to the last generation. Porsche really took the time to make improvements on the engine and other features to make this a very reliable option. Porsche also rated the manual 0 to 60 with a 3.8 second time, but the PDK reached it at 3.2 seconds, which is a major accomplishment. Porsche absolutely nailed this model and it was loved by many critics and reviewers, but that brings us with the next model. Coming up with the most present generation at the time of this video, the 992 GT3 took improvements from the previous generations. This included the 4.0 liter flat 6 engine, producing a healthy 502 horsepower. Along with the 502 horsepower, it also reached a red line of 9,000 RPM. Porsche also really improved on the aerodynamics of this Porsche GT3 model, featuring more downforce, up to 60% more downforce than the 991.2, which is crazy. So for the first time in the 911 GT3, a double wishbone front suspension has been installed directly from the 911 RSR. Pretty much this generation of Porsche GT3 took basically everything good from the previous GT3 models and put it in this, including the adaptive suspension management system, the stability management, also along with the rear axle steering. So this is just a complete GT3 on steroids, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my other ones and make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. Catch you on the next video, guys. Peace.